With the Premier League on pause and the FA Cup back, Mikel Arteta needs reinforcements. So today we'll get the latest on the negotiations to sign Mykhaylo Mudryk, as well as an update on Joao Felix. We'll also find out if the Gunners are back in to sign a midfielder in Brazil, and if Arsenal's game against Oxford could see the return of a Emil Smith-Rowe. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. I hope you guys are doing sensational as always and excited for the return of the FA Cup. And as per, smash a like if you enjoy the content and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. And I want to give a little shout out to Shy Morgan Jones, who's always showing your boy so much support and love, like so many others do as well. So much love and appreciations. But now let's get straight into an Arsenal transfer update. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has been speaking. At the start of the window, he made clear it was very important for Arsenal to get their signings in early, and Arsenal have tried, they have made offers, but so far they have been unsuccessful. And now Arteta says to be smart, we have to see good opportunities and we have to be attractive for players. At the end of the day, players decide where they want to play, and if they want to play for our club, that is great. Arsenal's project is getting as attractive as ever. The title charge is there, the young players, the young superstars, and Mikel Arteta developing as a manager. But the issue is in January, it's not always about signing who you want, but signing who's available. Teams overprice their players, negotiations are harder than ever, and things are complicated, but Arsenal still have their targets. So let's start off in midfield and talk about Danilo Oliveira, a player that Arsenal previously offered £20 million for in the summer transfer window. And according to Thiago Fernandes of Goal Brazil, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid and Monaco are willing to sign the Palmeiras midfielder, but Palmeiras have no preference on who to sell to and have already had an offer for the player. Also keep an eye on Benfica, who if they lose Enzo Fernandez, they will also make a move. But in terms of Danilo Oliveira, 21 years of age, able to play as a number 6. He's been successful at Palmeiras. He's won the Copa Libertadores. That being said, for Arsenal though, having seen the return of Mohamed Elneny and the availability of Thomas Partey, it seems like they have called their interest in signing a number 6. And I believe that is because they have a different target, a bigger target. Someone that isn't available in January, but will be in the summer. And I have my suspicions that player could be West Ham United's Declan Rice. But now let's talk about a more attack-minded midfielder, and specifically Toulouse midfielder Ferres Chaibi. According to reports in France, Arsenal continue to track a young potential star in the making, 20 years of age, enjoying his breakout year in Liga, 15 appearances, 11 starts and 6 goals and assists. He stands at 6 foot in height and he is a creative wide forward, able to play on the left hand side, the right hand side and down the middle. Arsenal are a team that like to scout players, and the prime example is Gabriel Martinelli. But in the current stage of the project, I think Arsenal are looking for a player that can have a bigger impact straight away. Now let's talk about the strikers. According to reports in Italy, Arsenal are monitoring Tammy Abraham. Last year, Tammy was a star for Roma, 25 goals, thriving. He won the UEFA Conference League. But this year, things have changed. 16 appearances, 3 goals scored. Left out of England's World Cup squad. Tammy's stocks have plummeted, and it looks like he wants to leave Roma. He wants to return to the Premier League. According to reports, Mikel Arteta is a massive fan, and he really pushed to sign him in the summer of 2021, but Arsenal did not have the finances. Now his price tag would be cheaper than ever, but we can't forget that Chelsea also have a buyback clause. Standing at 6'3", he's a different profile to what Arsenal already have. And there is an idea in the Arsenal fan base that Arsenal need a top goal scorer going into the future, but I'm not too sure. Arsenal are a team that don't have an out-and-out goal scorer, yet they score goals for fun, and that is because there are so many other goal scorers, which allows us to share the goals. Mikel Arteta's attack is all about fluidity. It's all about causing mayhem in the final third. Signing a target man profile like a Tammy Abraham could be detrimental in terms of our team dynamics. But let's talk about the wide forwards, in particular Mykhaylo Mudryk. And when Mikel Arteta was asked about him, he says there's no update, reiterating that at the end of the day, players decide where they want to play. No liked photos, no dropping hints. Mykhaylo Mudryk has gone silent. And as Fabrizio Romano says, there's no big changes on the Mykhaylo Mudryk deal in the last 48 hours. Chelsea have met with Shakhtar, but Arsenal remain in direct talks. But Shakhtar have told them they want 100 million euros. Mudryk remains Arsenal's priority, and this has always been clear, but Chelsea will try until the end. 9 days into the window, and Arsenal fans are starting to get a little bit bored. But there is one sign of promise. The fact that so far the likes of Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein have yet to confirm if Arsenal's second offer of £62 million was rejected could mean the Shakhtar are still giving it consideration. And as reports confirm, Chelsea have now made approaches for Dani Olmo and Marcus Thuram because they want assurances from Mykhaylo Mudryk that he wants to join them before going head to head with Arsenal. This is why Chelsea have not made an offer so far. Mudryk is not convinced about signing for Chelsea, and rightly so. Out of the FA Cup, out of the League Cup, 10th place in the Premier League. And then you have Arsenal fighting for the title, looking far more likely to be in the Champions League. It's no surprise to hear then from Ben Jacobs that Mykhaylo Mudryk will be very disappointed should a move to Arsenal not materialise, as they remain the player's preference and priority. At this point, I think Mudryk needs to take things into his own hands. Negotiations seem to be at a standstill. Arsenal will not increase their offer massively. They have made a reasonable offer, and while Mudryk liking photos and dropping hints is good, it's not going to force a transfer through, and now we need to see the player power. Is he prepared to drop an official transfer request? And we've seen this before. Cast your minds back to 2021 and the transfer saga of Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal wanted to pay a certain amount and Sheffield United wanted more. Arsenal then walked away from negotiations, and then Aaron Ramsdale took things into his own hands. He forced for a transfer, and now he's the Arsenal #1. But what's happening with Joao Felix? Well, he was back in action as Atletico took on Barcelona and lost 1-0. And in terms of Felix's performance, he had some bright moments, but overall looked like a very frustrated figure and was constantly moaning at his teammates as they weren't able to find him on the ball. And there's also a feeling that the Atletico fans now want Felix gone. But in terms of Arsenal and their main competition, Manchester United, who alongside Arsenal have been negotiating with Jorge Mendes, but it looks like they have other targets in mind, as reports confirm they're closing into the signing of Wout Weghorst, a Burnley striker on loan at Besiktas. And watch this celebration of his last Besiktas goal, waving goodbye to the Besiktas fans. Is that a confirmation that he's on his way to Manchester United? And does that put them out of the race for Joao Felix? According to reports, his agent Jorge Mendes will be in talks with Arsenal once again. If United are out of the race, it means that Arsenal are going to be the favourites. They are the only other team that are actually negotiating, and Corridor del Sport go as far as saying that Arsenal are actually closing in on a move for Joao Felix. This I think is a bit of a stretch, but I do believe Arsenal are making advancements, and as Ben Jacobs confirms, Arsenal do have further talks scheduled over Joao Felix, and Atletico Madrid's demands remain high, but Arsenal ideally wants an option to buy not given set below £70 million and a loan fee of around 5. And in terms of other reports, they claim that Atletico Madrid are demanding a £9.5 million loan fee and a commitment to buy at £70.5 million. And this report does claim that he's been offered to Man United, but since they have moved for Wout Weghorst, it means that Arsenal are the prime candidates, and that sort of package there is definitely affordable. And even though Arsenal have a very good connection with Jorge Mendes, we can't forget that in terms of Atletico, things are still a bit frosty. Let's go back to the summer of 2020 when Arsenal signed Thomas Partey on transfer deadline day, activating his release clause. With it being so last minute, reports claim at the time that Atletico weren't too impressed. How is that going to impact Arsenal in their current negotiations for Joao Felix? I think we're going to find out in the next few days. Moving on to Arsenal versus Oxford United. The title charge is on pause and the FA Cup is back. And Arsenal are the record holders, 14-time winners. This competition is in our heritage. And in terms of Arsenal, they've confirmed the all-white Arsenal kit is back, confirming that our commitment continues and there's no more red campaign in a joint initiative with Adidas. The last time that we saw that kit was this time last season, where Arsenal were knocked out by Championship side Nottingham Forest. But this time round, Arsenal will play a team in League One. 14th place Oxford United, a team that has only won 1 out of the last 5 games, up against an Arsenal team top of the Premier League, 5 points clear, and having won 2 out of the 3 games since the Premier League return. But to anyone that thinks this game is going to be easy, you guys don't understand what the FA Cup is. The Cup of Giant Killings. We saw it last year against Forest. It's in the heritage of the FA Cup to see massive upsets. And this is going to be Oxford United's biggest game ever, and their players will see it as an opportunity to put themselves on the map. And Arsenal fans witnessed that last year. Jed Spence and Nottingham Forest. Arsenal are the far better team technically and tactically, but in terms of mentality, that is where this game is going to be won. But in terms of the team news, there's still no Gabriel Jesus or Reece Nelson, but Arsenal do welcome the return of Emil Smith-Rowe. Mikel Arteta has confirmed that Emil Smith-Rowe has a chance of featuring in the game. But who exactly is Mikel Arteta going to start, and how much are Arsenal going to rotate? The formation will be the standard 4-3-3, and a goalkeeper of Matt Turner, a back four of Tomiyasu, Rob Holding, Gabriel and Tierney, a midfield of Elneny, Lokonga and Fabio Vieira, and a front three of Gabriel Martinelli, Eddie Nketiah and Marquinhos. That is just a prediction, but I don't know what to expect. Up against a team in League One, they're going to make it physical. So in terms of Emil Smith-Rowe, having not played a single game since September, I'm not quite sure if he starts straight away. But also in terms of Nketiah, Gabriel and Martinelli, these guys are first teamers starting in a second team, because Arsenal don't have depth in those positions, and that is exactly why Arsenal are looking to invest in those areas in the transfer market. And in terms of the tactics, I'm not even going to bother. Arsenal are the far better team tactically, the far better team technically, but this game is won and lost on mindset. With the right mindset, this game could be a walk in the park. work. But if we go in with the wrong mindset and players take the game for granted, up against players who are playing in the biggest games of their lives, they will make it a battle, and in football, anything is possible. But if things go as planned and Arsenal do go through, they will face Man City away from home in the fourth round of the FA Cup. And I have seen a few Arsenal fans saying, let's bin off the FA Cup, let's focus on the Premier League title. But if we want to be a winning team, like a Man City, you have to compete in every single competition, because that's how you create a winning culture. And let's not forget that in terms of the FA Cup, it was Mykhaylo Mudryk's first and only trophy as an Arsenal manager. It was a special moment, so why not go for it again? Let me know down below in the comments your matchday predictions. But moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with Arsenal players thriving in the Championship on loan, specifically Austin Trusty at Birmingham City, ranking first in terms of tackles won, second in terms of dribbles successfully defended, and fourth in terms of clearances in the entire Championship. Trusty is excelling defensively and the numbers are fantastic, but that is kind of to be expected for a team in Birmingham that are so defensive, that sit back, they don't keep much of the ball, and I believe are sat 17th in the Championship. Now Trusty is a left-footed centre-back, and that is a profile that Arsenal will require going into next season. In terms of ball playing ability, there is still a massive doubt to whether Trusty is actually ready for the Arsenal first team. But talking of Arsenal loanees, we have to talk Charlie Patino, who in 2022 started for Arsenal as we were knocked out by Nottingham Forest, but in 2023 he has got his revenge, starring as Blackpool knocked out Forest 4-1, and the performance itself was a bit of a defensive masterclass, as no player on the pitch made more successful tackles with 4 than Charlie Patino, and the 19-year-old also won more aerial duels with 4 than any other Blackpool teammates, and he only played 68 minutes. The technical ability of Charlie Patino has never been in doubt, but this is why Arsenal have loaned him to Blackpool, so he can up his ability to win his duels. And the stats get better, as no English teenager has made more interceptions in Europe this season than Charlie Patino with 27, and he also sits just one behind Jude Bellingham on goal involvements with 4. The fact that he's able to make so many interceptions means that he's able to read the game, and even though I believe his future is as a number 8, his defensive numbers make me think maybe he may also have a future as a number 6. Now here we have an edit from a Reddit user of how the Arsenal 23-24 home kit could look like based on leaks and rumours. The gold outlining stands out straight away, and it reminds me a bit of the Arsenal kit from 2007-8 and also 14-15. There's part of me that likes it, but also part of me that isn't quite convinced. So let me know down below if this was to be the Arsenal kit going into next season. Rate it out of 10 down below in the comments. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC, and as the focus turns to the FA Cup, Arsenal fans want developments in terms of transfers, so hopefully we get some in the next few days, and I will see you soon. Stay tuned and peace.